What's up, everybody? Welcome to Observe and Proceed, where I observe and proceed to react. And guess what? A chemical plant actually exploded. And no, it wasn't the Orange County one, even though I have an update for you on that one as well. But this one happened in Washington State, and it actually killed people. And yeah, it's quite a coincidence that this one happened at the same time as the OC one, the California one. Yeah, that's pretty strange, right? But yeah, this one actually exploded. So we're going to get into that. But first off, I want to thank all the subscribers, everyone that's been liking the video. I highly appreciate you. And if you could do that for me real quick, I'll appreciate you too. But anyway, let's waste no time and get into this Washington State chemical plant explosion. Insane.
And good evening from what has long been known as the insurance capital of the world. And in just a moment, our report on the modern reality of medical insurance today, the rising costs and the solutions as well. But first, we have that breaking news from Washington State, what is now thought to be the deadliest industrial tragedy in that state's modern history. At least 2 dead at the moment, with 9 additional workers missing and presumed dead at this hour after a chemical tank disaster at a paper mill there. Our Jonathan Vigliotti has late details.
Officials are still trying to recover 9 bodies after a massive tank at the Nippon Dynawave packaging plant ruptured, spewing corrosive chemicals. The search was paused overnight due to safety concerns as...
Look at those vehicles. Look at the vehicles all flipped over, bro. Imagine how hard this explosion was. Look at that. So everyone working pretty much got affected by it. And yeah, like 9 people missing. 2 of them already found dead. Insane. So it's like, if you work at these chemical plants, is it really worth the job? Man, you got to be thinking to yourself right now, if this job is like, people are not going to want to work this job. Like, it's going to be all AI anyway, but this right here tells you something, especially both situations, the OC one and this one, happened at the same time. I mean, people call that coincidence, but, you know, highly strange. That's all I'm going to say.
As crews feared the damaged tank could collapse again.
The priority is ensuring responder safety while treating every victim with the greatest dignity, care, and respect as possible.
The accident happened Tuesday morning when that tank, carrying nearly 900,000 gallons of a caustic mixture known as white liquor, suddenly burst. Crystal Moldenhauer was close with several of the victims.
It's hit hard in our community. There's a family that had 2 people that are unaccounted for. We have the grief. We are wondering why this happened.
2 of the victims, Dylan Miller, who leaves behind his fiancée and their 3 kids, and Gilbert Bernal, an electrician who is described as hardworking and a loving grandfather. Tonight, grief and a search for answers.
I want to know why these families have lost these loved ones. What could have been done? What do we need to investigate? Like, what safety inspections have been done?
A team of federal investigators will arrive on site tomorrow, and tonight a growing health concern. Officials say an unknown amount of that toxic chemical drained into the nearby Columbia River, Tony.
Like what? So now not only did this happen, but that chemical drained into a river, the Columbia River over there by Seattle, bro. That's an environmental disaster now too. Like, what is going on, bro? What is going on? Let's see some comments. Wow, another catastrophe with deadly chemicals. Interesting, isn't it? Highly interesting. FYI, the water there is totally safe to drink and the air quality is safe as well. Yeah, no one's talking about the air quality, including what happened in the OC, because we're going to get to that. Third one. What was the other one? I know 2. Yeah, everyone's just talking about how this is like highly suspicious that it's all happened this week. All right, so let's look at this.
Tonight, stunning new video shows the devastation inside a Washington plant moments after the deadly rupture of a massive chemical tank.
3401 Industrial Way at Nippon for a hazmat burn.
A toxic surge inside a packaging plant. leaving trucks flipped over or crushed. Seen here in video obtained by an independent journalist.
Man, poles, trucks, everything went flying. Imagine that explosion must have been ridiculous, bro. Like a autumn bomb going off, bro. Like, dang. And look at all the chemical spill right here. Who's gonna clean that up? I mean, I get that people with hazmat suits would have to, right? But also the fact that it drained into the river, you can't clean that. That's insane.
Tank partially collapsed. Authorities confirm at least 2 people are dead and 9 still missing from the implosion early Tuesday.
This was a shift change time.
A shift
they were
change,
operating
huh?
and they were in their workspaces when this blast occurred.
The cause still unknown.
We do.
You know, that a shift change, that actually makes me think this was deliberate. I mean, I tend to think that when stuff like this happens, because how does this even happen? It's got to be like someone triggered it to happen, right? You know, I'm just saying a shift change, the truth is gonna come out eventually, but it's highly fishy to me. Also feels like someone got an idea from what happened in Orange County, but I don't want to say too much yet. We don't have all the details, so yeah.
Do not know where all 9 are. We have searched the area that is searchable.
The tank holding nearly
Insane.
1 million gallons of white liquor, a sodium-based chemical used in paper manufacturing that can cause severe burns if not properly handled, enough to fill more than an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Authorities have now sealed off the entire plant as recovery efforts intensify. That leaked chemical so powerful, even firefighters reported damage to their own gear.
Dang.
The steam cloud was so big, covered everything. Couldn't see through it.
Eli Bernal was working at the plant. Today, he and his sister remembering their father, 52-year-old Gilbert Bernal, who they say showed up for his shift just minutes before the implosion.
He was just a very genuine person, and just within minutes of you talking with him, you felt like you knew him for a lifetime.
Meanwhile, at an overnight vigil, hundreds gathered to pray and support the families, now left longing for answers.
I know they can't give us all the details, but I still want to know what happened to my dad.
Still so many questions right now. Morgan,
You know they can't give you all the details. Why is that?
joins us live outside of that plant. Morgan, investigators are still trying to pinpoint the cause of how all this happened?
Yeah, Tom, they are. We do know that federal investigators arrived today going through this scene, trying to identify the cause as well as preventative measures. And we're also hearing from the company that owns this plant, sharing a statement. They expressed their condolences tonight to those bereaved families. Tom?
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay
Oh,
updated
my
on breaking
condolences.
news and top
Our
stories.
tank just accidentally exploded and killed everybody. My bad. Nah, no, they're not. You know what? We are just at the tip of this right now. We don't know anything, but believe me, the truth will come out. There will be lawsuits, and people will pay. People will pay, bro. One way or another. I mean, but I'll keep you guys updated on this situation. Here's the update on what happened at Garden Grove, Orange County, California. Remember, they evacuated everyone. If you seen my last video, this one was the original toxic plant that was supposed to explode, but they contained it somehow. I don't know what it is, but the liquid evaporated. I don't know how that's any good, but anyway, let's see what happened with that. Let's see the update on that.
Live team coverage for you. Macy Jenkins is in Fountain Valley talking with those who learned they could finally head home. But let's begin with NBC4's Darsha Phillips. She was at that tense community meeting tonight. Darsha.
Yeah, Carolyn, the room was packed at this community meeting. Lots of people very vocal about what they've been going through over the last several days and their concerns over this chemical leak. And of course, there was some loud reactions and some shouting. At one point, the mayor of Garden Grove had to stop the meeting and then kicked everyone out.
How many Garden Grove residents were aware that there was a bomb sitting in their backyards?
A fiery community.
You know, that's hilarious. He couldn't handle all the mad residents. He kicked everyone out. I also heard they were accusing people from other communities there. So that was a reason to shut it down or something like that. But basically, they couldn't take the heat. They were tired of getting screamed at. They were like, you know, this isn't our fault. But Someone's got to take accountability, whether it be that company or the city council that permits that company to work there, right?
Meeting in Garden Grove.
Why was GKN Aerospace allowed to use MMA explosive chemicals within a 1-mile radius of schools and family homes?
Dozens of residents angered
valid
over the
question.
chemical leak from aerospace company GKN that forced tens of thousands from their homes for several days.
We have so many people in my community, in my neighborhood, that could not evacuate. They did not have the money, they did not have the resources, they could not take their pets, and so they chose to stay and risk their lives for this.
You know, another thing I heard, there was some looting going on. Of course there's going to be looting, you know. That's another reason why you wouldn't just, you know, I'm going to stay here and guard my house. You know, that reminds me, you know, when Mount St. Helen was going to explode, people knew it was going to explode, right? I mean, they didn't know exactly when, but they gave out warnings like, yeah, it's really close on exploding. Evacuate. There were people that didn't evacuate. They stayed, and you know, the volcano ended up exploding and killing them. So yeah, that would have been crazy. Imagine how many people would have died from that.
Right?
People demanding answers and assurances that this won't happen again.
And let me be clear. This disaster was totally preventable, even as none of us knew that it could even happen.
The meeting got so rowdy that it had to be stopped.
Yeah, I'm in a recess. 5 minutes, please.
And the mayor ordered the public out of the room.
Yeah, recess,
but before they were ordered out, people at the meeting were the first to learn that all the evacuation orders had been lifted.
Our warehouse is probably like 2-3 blocks from the actual thing.
Juan Lopez says he has to return to work tomorrow. And even though officials say everything is safe, he's still feeling nervous.
Honestly, I can't say that I want to go back to work because it's still not safe.
And the mayor of Garden Grove has said that there will be a thorough investigation into exactly why and how this happened. Reporting live from Garden Grove, I'm Darsha Phillips.
Of course. So yeah, let's see this as well.
In Garden Grove, where questions and concerns continue to linger following the chemical tank crisis that forced tens of thousands of people out of their homes for days.
Actual update on the tank.
To know what will happen with the compromised tank and with the company behind it. NBC4's Hetty Chang live in Garden Grove outside GKN Aerospace. Hetty.
Yeah, Jonathan and Kathy, we learned today that there's still a mandatory evacuation zone, but it's gotten a lot smaller. It's about 300-foot radius around
where it would leak.
The compromised tank, which is just behind us here on Western Avenue. Take a look across the street here. There's a business complex. The owner here says that he was able to return to work this morning. So let's talk about this compromised tank. It is tank number 1. You can't see it because it's just beyond that very large tank with the brown top there, but you'll notice that there's no water being continuously sprayed on that tank, and fire officials say that is a good thing because it has been able to cool itself. But the work is not over. The goal now is to completely reduce the threat within that 300-foot zone. Fire officials say there's still a threat of a fire or a spill within that zone, but that there are no homes nor people there. Officials say the MMA chemical is no longer in a liquid form, which is why they were able to eliminate the threat of a catastrophic explosion. They're also working to fully neutralize.
All right, so it's not in a liquid form, right? That means it turned into vapor and went into the air, like evaporated, right? That can't be good either, though, right? Like, man, but go ahead and prove it that, you know, you got an effect from that, right? Like, what can you do as a resident, as a civilian? Wow.
MMA chemical in the other 2 tanks on the property. After those steps, this turns into a hazmat cleanup.
This will be turned into a cleanup when all the threats and hazards have been eliminated to the life, the property, and the environment.
And what's it going to take to make that happen?
So there's no absolutes or definites, but we have been seeing trends of the temperature not increasing. We'll work with our Orange County Health, and the EPA will work with the company and on removal of the waste. What that looks like, we don't have that plan yet. I don't think they have that plan yet, but our focus up to now was just...
They don't even have a plan of how they're going to remove it. Like that, what? whole situation is just screaming at incompetence. You wouldn't think this would happen in 2026 in the United States. Like, if you told me like 10 years ago we would have this level of incompetence, like all around the country, so to say, the leadership, everything, I would be like, nah, man, like, like this isn't like Mexico or some other like corrupt, but we're talking about corrupt countries. Like, this might be the most corrupt country now that you see what it really is. I'm just saying.
Getting people back in their homes.
It's right in your face.
Yeah, fire officials say they do not have a definite timeline as to when this now turns into a hazmat cleanup. Jonathan and Kathy.
Hetty, we know this is the closest by far we've been able to get to the facility since all of this really started. Have we heard anything new from GKN today?
They're not going to
Jonathan,
talk.
we have been reaching out daily, right, since this whole emergency
They're gonna
situation
get
started
sued
on Thursday
out of
afternoon,
existence.
sometimes several times a day, because we've been wanting to get someone on camera from their company. They continue to refer us to their statements online, and they just posted one this afternoon saying, in part, we apologize for the disruption. This
No one
incident
cares
has
about their
caused.
apology,
And as we
bro.
turn to the immediate relief and recovery effort, we will continue to work with local officials, community partners, and nonprofit organizations to support affected residents, businesses, and the wider community. We're live in Garden Grove. Hetty Chang, NBC4 News.
Oh, you're going to have to support financially. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. GKN. What are they saying here? What was their emergency plan for something like this? Did they even have a plan? Or so they not care who gets sick and dies from the chemicals? They don't have a plan. That is the thing. And it just shows you no one cares about the people out here. No one cares. That's why I said this country might be the most corrupt. Because at least those so-called corrupt countries like, Mexico, Cuba, or whatever, they don't have incompetence through corporations on this type of level, basically, where it threatens everyone's existence around the corporations. It's not like that. You know what I mean? Like, they're corrupt too, but this is a whole other level of corruption that's going on in the United States. As you saw what happened in Washington, it happened somewhere else, not on this scale. And it's all happening right now. So I don't know what's going on. It's highly fishy. Highly fishy. Look at this comment. America's turned into the late 19th and 20th century, a horrific time of child labor, little protection of the worker, and ultimate death in the workplace. That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't think this would happen in 2026. Like, I'm at a loss for words right now. But more details will come out, and we're going to stay on this case as well as the Washington case, or if anything else pops up. It's a strange time, I'll tell you that. But anyway, please like and subscribe and keep it locked. I'm out.